Do you feel the pulse?
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So a lot of changes to the tank. I've been trying to record this video a few times now, but I've been having issues with my camera flipping my footage. So I hope this is right. If not, I'll have to try again. But if you're seeing this, then I got it right. So bottom line is, I came down to my tank Friday morning. I was reattaching this Goniopora frag right there because it fell, and I was attacked by this guy, my Mizbar clown, which is weird because he's never done that before. So upon further inspection, I realized that he had hosted with my rose bubble tip anemone back there. Now that was odd, being that my orange skunk clowns had also hosted with that anemone. So after observing them for a little while, I realized that they were at war for the battle of the RBTA. So hastily I realized that I need another anemone because I really don't want my orange skunks to get stressed. They're new to the tank. Even though they're doing really well, they really like their anemone. So I packed up the car, I headed down to that fish place, which was about 2 hours away, where I knew I'd get a decent deal on an anemone, a bubble tip anemone. And I got down there, and turned out that the anemones just weren't looking too well, and no one was sure if they were aquacultured or not. And that was important to me, as I don't want to mix aquacultured with wild anemones. I want to keep everything aquacultured. I don't want to have any issues. So that's exactly what I proceeded to do. So I did not end up buying the anemone there. Instead, I contacted Jeremy Shank over at Sky's Lagoon, and he should be getting me in a bubble tip anemone. Not sure what kind yet, but when it comes in, ETA is about 2 weeks. Then, you know, I'll go from there. So made those arrangements. I had to go over there anyways to pick up a couple pieces of corals, and so, you know, we spoke a little bit about getting the anemone in. Now, while I was at that fish place, I couldn't help but remembering that I need a cool clown to pair up with this guy right here, my Mizbar. And I was able to get this guy right here, which is a Blacker Ice Ocellaris clown. This guy is very beautiful. I made sure he ate in the store. Actually, the guy at the store was just speaking to Jeremy Shank a couple minutes prior to me talking to him. So we spoke about him a little bit. But back to the video. I picked this guy up. I had to go to work immediately after when I got back, so my girlfriend acclimated him and got him in the tank. And then I did the coral when I came home. Now, she ended up sending me some footage, and turns out what happened is the Mizbar clown got kicked out of the anemone by the two orange skunks. And as you can see, it wasn't a peaceful eviction. He pretty much got ripped to shreds by those two orange clowns. So my Mizbar got torn apart by the orange skunk clowns, and then I introduced the Blacker Ice. Now, I did have footage of how that introduction went. Essentially, yeah, they pretty much duked it out for a little while. As you can see, they're roughly the same exact size. This Mizbar was not this violent, but I'm assuming that, you know, that's going to end up being the female, being how aggressive it is. And then the Blacker Ice will become the submissive. It is a lot calmer, but as you can see, it really hasn't lost any battles yet. All his fins are looking perfect. Really nice patterning on him, and all is well in the tank. So if you can see, I no longer am running my CP25. It was just way too powerful for this tank. After going over to Sky's Lagoon and observing his flow and how his coral were doing, I realized that my flow was way too high, and then I adjusted it accordingly. The CP25 just was too powerful even in its lowest setting for this tank. Maybe something around 4 feet long or so would probably suit in its lowest setting, but definitely 3 feet is not a sufficient length for it to operate in. So my coral were definitely getting blown around. A lot of it was staying closed and receding. So now that I put on my PP4, I'm planning on doubling it up, putting another PP4 on the other end of the tank to create that turbulence zone. But check out my rainbow torch. I also picked that up from Sky's Lagoon, and look at that. With the reduced flow, it is all open. Most of my Euphilia were open. They're a little closed right now. It's a bit later in the day and the lighting is dying down. The fish are a little out and about since I'm down here, but I mean, I can't complain. I picked up this this ACAN from Sky's Lagoon. That's my first ACAN ever, so I'm curious to see how that ends up playing out. And I also picked up a couple of Zoas. You can see the one with the pink ring. I also picked up some orange oxides and another kind, which is that little green, bright green one near that orange oxide. I picked up from Sky's Lagoon, as well as a green Pavona frag back there. So I picked up a few things, but I'm pretty sure I'm maxed out on coral right now. I know a lot of these things are gonna grow in quite a bit, and as they do, I'm gonna get them ready to get fragged, and then I'm gonna work on special ordering my saving up and special ordering my custom tank and sump setup. So as of right now, for the next at least 2 years, I'm just going to be observing this tank, letting it grow out, continue to dose, and just keep my parameters where they're supposed to be, focus on water chemistry, and we'll see how everything does. Like in my last update, my bird's nests were just not doing well. They still really aren't. I fragged off a couple pieces and threw them on the rack. The ones that were doing the worst were my sour apple, as well as my bird of paradise. My pink bird's nest seems to have recuperated a little bit and is starting to just hang in there, as well as my mint green bird's nest is doing well back there. But other than that, everything's doing well. I'm still working on getting that anemone. These mushrooms are great. Toadstools are doing all right. I got this Gorgonian frag from Inappropriate Reefer, and it's doing fantastic. And the Jawbreaker I picked up from him is barely hanging in there. I think it was just a little too damaged during its removal. Not his fault, just that's how it goes sometimes, and that's fine because that gives me an opportunity to try everything on my own, getting my own Jawbreaker and giving it a shot and seeing how everything plays out. So that's gonna be a new exciting thing for me. Trying to get my hands on a couple pieces of coral that I really want, such as a Jawbreaker, a bounce mushroom, and a Holy Grail torch. Those are my top 3 coral that I really need to get my hands on, and I will be working on that over the next couple of months. But other than that, the tank's great. I did a lot of cleaning, skimmers clean, and replaced the filter floss for the second time, especially now. Most of what you see here is from me running GFO. As you can see, I'm running a Phospan 150 over there. I'm running some GFO. Filter sock got cleaned out. I'm also running some carbon. And as you can see, I do have something acclimating in there. Refugium's doing great. Still working on replacing my light. I do love my Radion XR30 Gen 4 Pro, but I'm gonna get something that's a little more the length of the tank with multiple channels, so that way I can kind of dial down one side and keep one side a little higher. Still deciding on what I'm going with yet, but I'm confident I have it narrowed down. After all, this is a budget build, and I'm trying to keep it that way. And the Radion just doesn't, keep everything cohesive and copacetic, as it is not a budget light. So that's the only thing non-budget that I have on this tank, and it has to go. And I will be getting to that as soon as I get back from my 2 weeks of military training. I will jump on replacing the Radion. And that's pretty much all I have to do, and just getting some better equipment for testing my water and focusing more on my water chemistry. Now that being said, I do have a little bit of hair algae, and I have a plan for that. I did run to the store to try and get my hands on a tail spot blending, but I wasn't able to. They were out of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to message a couple of stores and see where I can get one. And if I can locate one, then I will have my girlfriend pick one up during the week, acclimate it, and get it in the tank. I want to see if it makes a difference over the 2 weeks, as I won't be here. I think that's the best time to really see the tank now as it is versus when I get back in 2 weeks after not touching it. All she is advised to do is to feed this tank and to refill the ATO. Anything other than that, she will be contacting me, and we will be going ahead with whatever I decide to do. But again, I won't really be seeing the tank. I won't be there to really touch the tank, and we'll see if it's true that, you know, keeping your hands out of the tank will benefit the tank. And I have been putting my hands in there a lot of new coral, a lot of glue, you know, just putting things where I want them to be, moving things, just getting things really optimized. Like, I still have one more thing to move on my green hairy mushroom. My green hairy mushroom has to get moved, because at the rate my rainbow torch is going, that green hairy mushroom is not gonna make it. So I'm definitely going to have to move the green hairy mushroom, and that should be the last thing I really touch in this tank over the next couple of months. Cross my fingers. Now I just got back from the store, and here's what I got. So it's gonna be hard to see, but in this bag is a Squamosa clam. Now this is going to be my first time keeping a clam. I'm going to place it back here, a little lower light, a little less flow, and it gets the benefit of the sand to hopefully settle down in. I was at the store, and they were running a 25% off on all livestock. However, they were also running a text to receive a coupon, discount code type of thing going on. So I did that. I got 30% off. So I was able to pick this clam up for 30% off. It was listed for $59, and I had a $7 credit from my porcelain crab dying during transit. So I ended up picking that clam up for $36. $36. That's a hell of a price for any Squamosa clam, and it was the biggest one there, as well as the one that looked the best. So I got it for $36. I've been told that that is a hell of a deal. I'm not a clam guy. This is going to be my first clam. So I'm really going to take my time to acclimate this guy and make sure that he does well. It's gonna be a challenge for me, being that I have sand sifters. Now I don't know how that's gonna play out with getting sand in the mantle, or the lips. I don't even know the nomenclature of a clam, so that shows you I've never kept a clam before. So we'll see how that goes. But as far as coral, I'm pretty much maxed out. I do plan on getting another anemone to put on the backside of this rock. So hopefully, you know, I can get an anemone for both my orange skunks as well as my my Solaris clams. So another thing is, I'm watching this guy, my long-nosed hawk. I've caught him eating some of my hermit crabs, but I think it was more a crime of opportunity. I think the hermit crab probably fell over, was struggling. He picked it off and was able to get it. But still, I know for sure he killed all 3 of my peppermint shrimp that were in here. So any more cleaner shrimp I add to this tank has to be at least the size of this cleaner shrimp. So all that being said, this is the last video you guys are gonna see on the tank for the next couple of weeks. You know, my girlfriend is instructed to record some video, but none of that will be put out. Maybe she'll put out some pictures of the progress of the tank, but as far as video, nothing will be put out for the next 2 weeks. So hang in there, guys. I will be back. thank you guys for watching the video. As always, thank you for all the support, all the subscribers, new subscribers in the last 2 months. I thank you guys so much. I started with 0 and I've worked my way up to 70 something, and that is a lot for me. I don't care, you know, I don't have 1,000, 2,000, 15,000. 70 is, you know, more than I ever expected, and I definitely respect and appreciate everything that you guys do. As far as Instagram, all the Instagram followers that I've gained over the last couple months, thank you guys so much for that. I really appreciate it. And you know, I do maybe plan on doing a couple giveaways in the next couple of months. Just give me some time to get everything how I want it. I'm very picky when it comes to my tank, so just hang in there with me, guys. Thank you guys for all the love. I'm going to go ahead and try my hand at acclimating this Squamosa clam, and I will put a picture update up before I leave, because I'm heading out around 5 a.m. in the morning. I will try to get a picture up before I leave of the Squamosa clam, how it's doing in the tank. And that will be it for today, guys. Thank you guys very much. You guys have a wonderful weekend, week, and the following weekend. So until you guys see me again. So have a good one, guys.